Van Gogh's painting sold at auction for $82.05 million. But during his life, only one person ever wanted to buy his work. This portrait was a gift from Van Gogh to a friend, but the friend used it to repair a chicken coop. Ear cutting, marrying a prostitute, living in an asylum. What did Van Gogh go through? Van Gogh was born on March 30, 1853. To his mother Anna, he was a replacement child, because on the same day the previous year, she had given birth to a stillborn child. She gave Van Gogh the stillborn child's name, even the birth registration number. Anna was also adept at raising children. To prevent her son from being corrupted by lower classes, she had Van Gogh leave school to be educated at home. From a young age, Van Gogh sought his mother's approval. But until he died, Anna still despised him. Anna's evaluation of Van Gogh's work was ridiculous and absurd. Do you have the impression that Van Gogh was very poor? In fact, the Van Gogh family was quite influential. His grandfather bound the Dutch Constitution. His uncle was an admiral in the Dutch Navy. His cousin's husband was a world-renowned painter. And he had an uncle who owned one of the top art galleries in Europe. This uncle had no children. This meant that his gallery and property would likely be inherited by the eldest in the family, Van Gogh. But Van Gogh had no interest in the business. At 26, he found a job he truly loved: being a pastor. In 1879, Van Gogh went to a coal mining district in southern Belgium to start his internship. The area was very poor, filled with slums. He believed a pastor should do more than preach and should act. He gave his rented house to homeless locals. He moved into the slums to live with the miners. He stopped bathing, thinking soap was an evil luxury. He even cut his own underwear into bandages to help the injured. These actions angered the local church. The church believed pastors were noble. How could he live with the poor? Within just 6 months, Van Gogh was dismissed on grounds of damaging the church's image and blasphemy. But this wasn't Van Gogh's first dismissal. In the past decade, he was also a failed art dealer, teacher, and bookstore clerk. All ended unsuccessfully. Gradually, he began to show signs of mental illness. His family considered him odd and began to distance themselves. To what extent did they distance themselves? Even when Van Gogh was in an asylum, his mom Anna never visited him once. At 26, Van Gogh had gone from heir to the family's wealth to a homeless wanderer. In the winter of 1882, Van Gogh met a prostitute on the street. He discovered she was pregnant. Though he was poor, he couldn't stand seeing others suffer. Van Gogh hired her as a model for his paintings. This way, she wouldn't need to earn money on the streets anymore. This woman was named Scene and had already given birth to 3 children. Each belonged to a different client. Her mother was also a prostitute. After spending a winter together, Van Gogh decided to marry Scene. Because she treated him well. No woman had ever been so kind to him before. On June 22, in a hospital in Leiden, Scene gave birth to a boy. Van Gogh considered the child his own. In a letter to his brother, he cheerfully wrote, "With her, I feel like I have a home." Yet, after just a year, Scene left him. Perhaps due to poverty, or maybe because of Van Gogh's overly obsessive personality. Van Gogh lost his home. In his short 37 years, she was his only wife. At 27, the homeless Van Gogh decided to become a painter. How late is it to become a painter at 27? This was painted by Picasso at the age of 15. This was done by Michelangelo at the age of 12. Van Gogh started learning to paint at 27, which was too late. In 1886, Van Gogh enrolled in art studies at Antwerp Academy. One day, he was sketching in a classroom. Principal Lees saw his drawing and was shocked. Lees said, "Your drawing looks like crap." Other instructors felt unanimously that Van Gogh's basic skills were too poor. He should first enroll in a youth art class. Why did everyone dislike Van Gogh's paintings? Because his art didn't fit the aesthetic of the time. The mainstream 19th century art was neoclassicism, like Ingres' Princesse de Broye, where the muscles and lines are drawn very realistically. Yet Van Gogh disliked precision. He believed art should express feeling and passion. Look at his painting The Potato Eaters. The facial lines are very rough. Van Gogh thought only roughness could express their harsh life. In his 10 years of artistic career, Van Gogh produced over 2,100 paintings, but no one understood him. He sold only one painting, The Red Vineyard. From his parents to his peers, everyone mocked him as a weirdo and a tramp. But Van Gogh didn't care. He decided to keep painting until his death. Because he loved art. There was light in Van Gogh's life. And that was his brother Theo. Theo was a successful art dealer. From 1880 onwards, he supported Van Gogh financially for his entire life. His brother was Van Gogh's only supporter. Van Gogh had no job and was mentally unstable. Why did Theo support him? Years later, Theo named his son Vincent, saying he hoped his son could live as strong a life as Van Gogh. Maybe that's why he supported Van Gogh. Theo admired his brother. In February 1888, Van Gogh moved to a place in southern France called Arles. By then, his health had severely deteriorated. Besides insomnia, infections, and gastric issues, his episodes were frequent. On December 30, following another bout of insanity, Van Gogh cut off his own ear. People in the town began to mock him. Children threw stones at him. Prostitutes nicknamed him Red-Haired Madman. They even wrote a joint letter to the police, claiming Van Gogh's insanity threatened public safety. Soon, the police came, and Van Gogh was admitted to a mental hospital. In the St. Paul Asylum, Van Gogh finally felt he was normal. There, everyone was ill. No one mocked him anymore. Each time someone had an episode, they helped each other. He felt the warmth of community. Van Gogh calculated his episode cycles. He would paint feverishly during his lucid periods, gazing at the stars through the bars on his window. He painted the famous Starry Night. During 2 years at the asylum, Van Gogh reached his creative peak. To his surprise, a critic in Paris named Aurier praised him as a genius. Finally, more people began to notice him. On July 27, 1890, 37-year-old Van Gogh was shot with a revolver. 2 days later, he left the world forever. He died in the arms of his brother Theo. Until his death, Van Gogh believed himself a complete failure. For a long time, it was believed Van Gogh committed suicide. But according to police testimony at the time, after being shot, Van Gogh said, "Do not accuse anyone. It was my wish to kill myself." Why did he emphasize not blaming others? Some historians surmise he was accidentally shot by 2 brothers from town. To protect them, Van Gogh insisted it was suicide. Theo was devastated, refusing to believe his brother was gone. The brother who suffered, the one who devoted his life to painting, the brother whom no one ever cared about. Theo began planning an exhibition of Van Gogh's paintings. He wanted the world to see the genius's art. Yet months later, Theo went mad. He was committed to a mental hospital. There, perhaps he understood his brother's life before his death. In Doctor Who, there is an episode where Van Gogh travels to the present and hears people in a museum introduce his paintings, calling him the greatest painter in the world. At that moment, Van Gogh was moved to tears.